Welcome back to another episode of the Natty Teacher. I am, of course, your host, the Natty Teacher, and we're looking straight Kermit style with this sweatshirt on today. But you know what? That's a great combo. Got Kermit green and some nice blue, blue pants. That's some good stuff. Great stuff. Now today we have our Leg A session. And this is going to be kind of even a newer, updated version of our Leg A session from last week. A few little tweaks made to this session today. Should be some good tweaks, though. I'm excited for it, excited to run it, see how it feels, and, go from there. So, essentially, the setup today, here's what we're looking at. We'll get some basic mobility working for a few minutes, get the body moving, some dynamic stretching, all that kind of fun jazz, just to kind of get up and moving around and all that, do some lunges. Yeah, just get the knee flexed. I think that anytime you're trying to do any kind of knee flexion movements, hack squats, leg press, anything like that where you're going to be flexing the knees, any kind of substantial amount, I would highly recommend mirroring that in some of your warm-ups. Okay, body weight lunges is a great one, essentially where you are able to flex the quads quite a bit and create a lot of knee flexion, bring the knees up over the toes if you can, maybe a little bit, and really get those quads firing, and go from there. You don't have to, just an idea. So we'll do some mobility work, get the body up and moving, get the legs firing, all that kind of fun jazz. Then we will jump into some single leg lying hamstring curls. Keep the reps moderate, say in that 10 to 15 rep range. Then we'll move into some single leg extensions. Same concept, probably closer to that 10, 12, 10 to 15 rep range or so. And then, excuse me. Then we'll move into hack squats. So build up to 2 working sets there, and then some dumbbell RDLs, and then calf work. And I do have some abs. I do have some rope crunches today. Those ones are going to be a little bit higher, though, so a little bit higher reps. So we're not going to go crazy heavy on the weight with the rope crunches. Today's will be essentially just really, really elongating that midsection and then holding in that crunch position a little extra. So we'll do more reps. Everything will be even slightly slower. Really emphasize that stretch. Pause at the top and bottom of the movement. Probably 3 to 4 working sets there, and go from there. So that's kind of the setup, guys. Very simple. I mean, between my 4 big actual leg exercises, would be 8 total working sets, and then for tabs, 3 working sets there, and go from there. Sorry, I haven't had any caffeine since this morning, so I had a kind of woke up earlier than I was hoping I would this morning, quite a bit earlier actually. So not that I got the worst sleep ever, I just woke up early and was just up at that point, so I was like, all right. And I had to do a bunch of data analysis, not really data analysis stuff, but writing up some program stuff today, so kind of was out of the classroom for the majority of the day, so I wasn't up and really moving around too much, so I am kind of sleepy, for lack of better terms. But yeah, so that's the plan. So top set of some single leg lying hamstring curls coming at you right about now.
All right, so first exercise on the docket, we got a good old lying hamstring curl, but you'll see that if you watch some of my other leg training videos at the other gym I work out at, if you watch my lying hamstring curls, I actually have this in twice per week right now for, trying to essentially focus a lot on the hamstrings, and this is one of my favorite hamstring builders for sure. You will see that this particular exercise and the placement of the pad for this lying hamstring curl is much different than the placement for the pad on the other lying hamstring curl. This one is much lower down on the back of the calf. It really creates a whole different range of motion. Also, you'll see that my body is much more level compared to being at a little bit of a different angle that allows me to utilize quite a bit more weight here. But we're trying to work within the higher rep ranges here. Let's say we do 2 working sets here. This is after a little bit of mobility work as well. But I would highly recommend keeping this in that roughly 10 to 15 rep range or so, maybe even 10 to 20 if you'd like. I find that really hits the hamstrings very, very hard. Again, trying to limit as much extra body English as we can. A little bit here and there ain't going to kill you, especially towards the end of these sets. But really trying to just isolate the hamstrings as much as possible for our first actual exercise of the day. So again, really, really blasting those hamstrings hard in this this training block, really in all my training blocks right now. In the future as well, we have it set up to where we will be blasting hamstrings, very, very much so, multiple times per week. Then some single leg extensions here. We do have a regular dual leg extension later on in my training block as well on my second session. So this is my Tuesday session. I have a regular dual leg extension with the toes slightly more pointed in, even though I keep the toes pretty pointed in on this one as well, or I try to at least. Especially in my next week's session, next week's training footage you'll see after this, definitely, focused on keeping that in a little bit tighter. Again, I would highly recommend keeping this one in that 10 to 15 rep range. Again, really get that nice full range of motion, allow that quad to fully stretch on the way down and lengthen, and then shorten, pretty hard at the top of the movement. Again, this one, 2 working sets, nothing super fancy here, 2 working sets per leg, of course. Again, keeping those reps in that moderate rep range, 10 to 15, something like that, I feel like is kind of the sweet spot for a lot of these type of like extension and curling type movements for the legs, at least for me. So I stuck there. Then went on to hack squats. Now, what you will notice if you look back at my previous training footage, if you look at my foot placement in my previous training block, because obviously I had hack squats in my previous training block, you'll notice there's a little bit less weight. Well, that is for a particular reason. In this training block, I was actually able to add more to this in my next week's session after this. So, because I am this is footage from my second week of this new training block. I'm currently in my 4th week of the new training block, and strength at this point is really, really skyrocketing. So what you'll notice though is I'm really, really getting that nice range of motion, completely coming to a dead stop in the bottom of the movement, and you'll see that my feet are actually lowered down on the pad pretty substantially, decent amount here. So we're getting a ton of knee flexion, and we're keeping our heels essentially as glued as possible to the pad here. So again, 2 working sets of hack squats. After I do usually about 2 to 3 warm-up sets, very low rep warm-up sets, somewhere between like 1 and 3 reps, because obviously my legs are already warmed up from doing, mobility work and then hamstring curls, and then, some extensions. So I don't want to like fatigue myself out too much and do 4 or 5 warm-up sets of like 5 to 10 reps. I'm just getting a feel for what my top set will be. And then when we get that feel, we'll go there and, try to, get as many good reps as possible. So this one I keep in that 8 to 12 rep range, 2 working sets. Then an oldie but a goodie, one I have not done in a while here, and we were actually able to tweak this the following week after this and make it a little bit more efficient. You can see my back is kind of arched a little, not that a little arch is a bad thing, but we got some dumbbell RDLs here. So this was my first time doing them this heavy in a while. We got the 130s here. We ended up doing 2 sets of 8 on this one, but I will do a little foreshadowing. In my next week's session, we were actually able to comfortably and efficiently bump that up to 2 sets of 10. So again, and with, I would even argue, better, cleaner form than this. As we do have a little bit of that arch in the lower back that I'm trying to avoid. But we did this one. Again, 2 working sets here. Again, I would highly recommend that 8 to 12, 8 to 15 rep range. You can absolutely go higher or lower than that if you are comfortable with that. I don't really tend to dip below 8, but that's just me. But yeah, so find something you're comfortable with, get that good stretch, and really feel those hamstrings get nice and lit up from this exercise, and go from there. So again, 2 working sets here, and then we did do some direct calf work with some toe press on the leg press.
Leg A session in the freaking books, man. That was absolutely one to write home about. That was a great workout, man. Great leg workout. Phenomenal stuff. Really love doing those heavy dumbbell RDLs. I haven't done heavy dumbbell RDLs like that in a while, so that felt good to, get the 130s going and get that nice stretch, nice pause at the bottom, really feel those hamstrings firing big time. I loved it. It was awesome. So absolutely super excited that those are going to be a staple of my training on these days now on this leg A session. So I loved it so much. I did 2 heavy sets of 8, a double, 2 sets 8 with the 130s. So felt really good. Was excited. Dude, everything was firing correctly today. Squatting felt awesome. Leg extensions felt awesome. My hamstring curls were unbelievably difficult because I'm working them, if you notice, okay? If you notice, and I might talk about this in the voiceover, I'm not sure, we'll see, but just in case that I don't. If you notice with these hamstring curls, hamstring curls I do today compared to, like, if you've seen some of my previous videos where I do hamstring curls at that other, like, more commercial gym, the angle is completely different. Where my legs start and end is completely different, and where the pad is located, like on my calves, is completely different. Like the pad that I use, the lying hamstring curl that I use, like today, for example, the pad is all the way down by my ankles, and my legs are actually up slightly at an angle like this. So you have no choice but to start in this position and get a full range of motion to really actually get that full squeeze in the hamstrings. In my other one, I can go quite a bit heavier on that one, of course, but and still get a full range of motion, but it's a different full range of motion. And so what I'll do there is position the pad kind of towards the middle of my calves, maybe slightly below the middle of my calves, and then curl that pad right up into my butt, into my glutes, like the bottom part of my glutes. And it's a little bit of a shortened range compared to what I do today. I still really like that and have absolutely, seen some great progress from that. So it's not like I'm not going to, like, not do it. I don't want to say that. But it is just one of those things where, it's just different. It's definitely different. So, but still, phenomenal stuff, phenomenal workout, felt awesome. I did do 3 working sets of some leg press machine, toe press, plate loaded leg press, toe press there. Kept the reps a little higher in between that, like 12 and 16 rep range, so 12 and 15. And then I ended up doing, for my top set, I ended up doing 16. So did that, and then did just 3 sets, like a 3x15 on some rope crunches. So that one was a little bit lighter, really, again, like I was talking about in my intro, really, stretching and elongating that midsection and then getting that nice full crunch without overdoing it. I still have to train abs 2 more times this week, so I wanted to get a session in today, just kind of stretch the abs out, get that nice, good contraction without overdoing it, and then we'll train abs again probably Thursday and Friday. So that is the plan. At least one of those days. We'll see how recovery is. Maybe even tomorrow, depending on how recovery is, and we'll go from there. So felt really good, dude. Again, just a phenomenal workout. Really enjoying this new training split. Kind of balancing that frequency of quads and hamstrings a little bit more. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it, man. I really am. So, any hoozle. Make sure you like and share the video. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback about this new training split, about anything related to my videos, anything you would like, as long as it's school appropriate, drop it down in the comments below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Absolutely helps myself and helps the channel out, no doubt about it. I really appreciate it. It's super motivating to continue to see that number climb, man. It really is. And I mean, again, I'd still be pumping out this material if it wasn't, because I just really enjoy doing this. But I gotta admit, it adds that extra bit of, like, motivation to see those numbers continue to climb. Like, it is really a cool thing. So definitely a big fan of that for sure. But again, regardless, I'm gonna still keep pumping out content for you guys. Other than that, man, that's about all I got. Most importantly, hey, God bless. Enjoy the rest of your day. Starting to get that little chill in the air here in Michigan. It's exciting. What is it today? The 8th of October. So starting to get into, we've officially entered the 2nd week of October already. It's exciting stuff, man. It really is. I love the fall in Michigan, man. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love the temperature. I love wearing sweatshirts. It's just my thing, man. It's my thing. So, but other than that, hey, for today, that's all I got for you. I am the Natty Teacher, and this episode of Road to Natty Pro is out. I will catch y'all on the next one.